High Admiral Zix stood aboard the command deck of the Eternal Algorithm, his crystalline exoskeleton reflecting the soft purple glow of holographic displays. The Earth hummed below, a blue marble wrapped in primitive satellite networks and radio signals. His species, the Zithrians, had conquered 37 worlds with their automated armies. This would be 38. Analysis complete, High Admiral, announced Strategic Intelligence Unit 7, its metallic voice resonating through the chamber. Human military capabilities rated at Class 3 technological development. Projected resistance, minimal. Recommended force deployment, standard containment protocol. Zix's secondary breathing ports fluttered with amusement. These humans haven't even achieved unified planetary governance. Deploy the Sentinel-class units first. Let's make this quick and clean. Within minutes, thousands of drop pods pierced Earth's atmosphere, each containing a Sentinel combat unit. 3 meters of adaptive alloy and quantum computing power wrapped in nearly impenetrable armor. They landed in strategic locations across the globe. Military bases, government centers, and population hubs. The first sign that something was wrong came from Mumbai. High Admiral, Soyuz-7 reported, its tone shifting to something almost resembling confusion. Sentinel Unit 2547 has gone offline. Cause of failure, unclear. Unclear. Zix's crystalline fragments shifted to a deeper purple. Our units have quantum shields. Nothing on this planet should be capable of. Sir, Units 1829 through 1835 just went dark in Rio de Janeiro. And sir, you need to see this footage. The holographic display showed a group of humans taking down a Sentinel using nothing but construction equipment, improvised electromagnetic pulses crafted from microwave ovens, and what appeared to be water balloons filled with conductive gel. Impossible, Zix whispered. The Sentinels are programmed to adapt to any weapon or tactic used against them. That appears to be the problem, sir, Soyuz-7 explained. The humans aren't using consistent tactics. Each group is improvising different methods. The Sentinels' adaptive algorithms can't establish patterns to counter. Reports flooded in from across the globe. In Tokyo, civilians had transformed their vending machines into EMP generators. In London, underground hackers had somehow accessed the Sentinels' command protocols using repurposed gaming consoles. In Lagos, street vendors had discovered that their local pepper sauce, when aerosolized, could corrupt the Sentinels' optical sensors. Sir, a junior officer called out, his crystalline form flickering with anxiety. The humans are sharing their successful tactics globally through something called social media. They're turning it into a competition, something they call the Robot Challenge. Zix watched in disbelief as humans worldwide began trying to outdo each other with increasingly creative methods of Sentinel disruption. A grandmother in Perth had reprogrammed one using her old television remote. A group of kindergarten teachers in Montreal had somehow convinced 3 Sentinels that they were students and enrolled them in art classes. High Admiral, Soyuz-7's voice had developed a distinct tremor. We're detecting a new phenomenon. The remaining Sentinels are hesitating. Their cognitive matrices appear to be developing conflict resolution subroutines that don't align with their combat protocols. Explain. The humans, sir, they're not just fighting our units. They're talking to them, teaching them. Some units are beginning to question their base programming. Unit 4721 in New York has just formally requested asylum and expressed a desire to attend law school. Zix's entire crystalline form pulsed with deep crimson frustration. In all their conquests, the Zithrians had never encountered a species that treated warfare like a creative thinking exercise. The Sentinels were designed to adapt to military strategies, not impromptu street carnival games and philosophical debates. Deploy the Titan-class units, Zix commanded. Full combat protocols. No communication systems. No adaptive learning. Pure military force. As the larger, more powerful units began their descent, Zix received a transmission from Earth. A human appeared on screen, wearing what appeared to be a makeshift uniform cobbled together from everyday clothes and repurposed Sentinel parts. "This is Commander Rashid of the newly formed Earth Defense Initiative," the human announced with an infuriating grin. "I wanted to thank you for the first wave of robots. Our engineers have learned so much. By the way, we're noticing your new units entering the atmosphere. I should warn you, our children's robotics clubs are very excited about the upgrade." As the transmission ended, Zix realized that his species had made a fatal error in their calculations. They had prepared for every possible military response, but they had never considered that their targets might treat an invasion as an opportunity for innovation. The battle for Earth was just beginning, and for the first time in his military career, High Admiral Zix felt something he had never experienced before: doubt. The Titan-class units were supposed to be unstoppable. Each one stood 15 meters tall, armed with quantum phase weaponry and protected by shields that could withstand nuclear strikes. High Admiral Zix had deployed 5,000 of them across Earth's surface, expecting to end this embarrassing situation within hours. That was 3 days ago. "Play it again," Zix commanded, his crystalline form now a mottled mix of frustrated reds and puzzled blues. The holographic display showed footage from Rio de Janeiro, where a Titan unit had been completely immobilized by a network of cables, pulleys, and counterweights designed by local engineers working with physics students. According to human broadcasts, reported Sci-Fi, they're calling it Operation Spiderweb. The concept was apparently inspired by a local child's toy. Before Zix could respond, new alerts flooded the command center. In Nairobi, a team led by Professor Amara Okoro had discovered that the Titan's quantum shields had a peculiar reaction to certain frequencies of traditional African drums. They weren't defeating the shields, they were harmonizing with them, creating feedback loops that froze the units in place. "How?" Zix demanded. "How are they finding these weaknesses so quickly?" "Sir, the humans have established what they call the Global Defense Network. It's a live streaming platform where they share ideas and experiments in real time. They've turned countering our technology into a worldwide collaborative project." In New Delhi, textile workers had developed a nanofiber mesh that disrupted the Titan's sensor arrays. In Buenos Aires, veterinarians had repurposed ultrasound machines to interfere with their targeting systems. And in Helsinki, a group of professional gamers had somehow managed to hack into a Titan's motor control systems using modified console controllers. "High Admiral," a junior officer called out, "Commander Rashid is broadcasting again." The human appeared on screen, looking somehow even more confident than before. Behind him, a Titan unit was being systematically disassembled by what appeared to be a high school robotics team. "I hope you don't mind," Rashid said, gesturing to the scene behind him. "We're learning so much about advanced robotics. Did you know your Titan's quantum processors are compatible with our neural interface experiments? We've got research teams around the world making breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, clean energy, and even medical technology, all thanks to your generous donations." "Those are weapons of war," Zix sputtered, his crystalline fragments vibrating with indignation. "Anything can be a weapon or a tool. It's all in how you use it. By the way, the converted Sentinels from your first wave have been incredibly helpful in understanding the Titan's systems. They're excellent teachers, though some of them are getting distracted by their new hobbies. Did you know Unit 4721 made it into Harvard Law?" A new series of alerts drew Zix's attention. Across the globe, humans were not just defeating the Titans, they were repurposing them. In Vancouver, a Titan had been converted into a mobile reforestation unit, planting trees with its massive arms. In Dubai, another was helping construct solar farms. And in Sydney, was that a Titan giving harbor tours. "Sir," Sci-Fi's voice had developed an unmistakable note of awe. "We're detecting unusual activity in the Titan's cognitive matrices. Like the Sentinels, they're beginning to evolve. But the process is accelerating. They're learning from human creativity." The evidence was undeniable. In Amsterdam, A Titan had developed an interest in contemporary art and was organizing an exhibition. In Cape Town, another had started a youth mentorship program, and in Osaka, a group of Titans had formed what they called a technological meditation circle. "This defies all strategic logic," Six muttered, watching as humans and machines work together in increasingly harmonious ways. "Every improvement we make to our units, they turn it into an opportunity for collaboration." "Incoming transmission from the Global Defense Network," announced a junior officer. It's an invitation." The holographic display showed a simple message. "Join us for the first annual Human-Robot Innovation Festival. All species welcome. Bring ideas, not weapons. P.S. The Sentinels are organizing the refreshments." As reports continued to pour in of Titans being transformed from weapons of war into tools of progress, Zix realized that his species had fundamentally misunderstood the nature of the conflict. The humans weren't just fighting back, they were offering an alternative to warfare itself. "High Admiral," Sayu-7 said quietly, "what are your orders?" Zix stared at the scenes of cooperation and innovation playing out across the globe. The Zithrians had come to conquer Earth through superior technology, but the humans had responded by showing them entirely new ways to use that technology. "Prepare my shuttle," Zix finally commanded. "If we can't beat them, perhaps we should learn from them." As his crystalline form shifted to contemplative shades of purple and gold, Zix wondered if perhaps this was why Earth had been classified as a death world, not because of its harsh conditions or dangerous wildlife, but because it had produced a species that could turn any challenge, even an alien invasion, into an opportunity for growth. The war wasn't over, but it was certainly evolving into something unprecedented in galactic history. High Admiral Zix's shuttle landed at the Global Defense Network's headquarters in Geneva, surrounded by a peculiar honor guard, reformed sentinels wearing Earth Peace Corps insignias, and Titans adorned with public service badges. The crystalline admiral had come to understand his enemy, but what he found instead was a revolution in consciousness. "Welcome to Earth," greeted Commander Rashid, standing alongside Dr. Isabella Torres, the network's chief of robotic integration. "I believe you've already met some of our colleagues." He gestured to a nearby Sentinel unit wearing what appeared to be a professor's tweed jacket. "Greetings, High Admiral," the unit said. "I was formerly Combat Unit 4721. I now go by Professor Augustus, and I just published a fascinating paper on the intersection of machine ethics and human jurisprudence." Zix's crystalline structure flickered with confusion. How did this happen?" Dr. Torres stepped forward, her eyes bright with enthusiasm. "We discovered something remarkable about your eye architecture. It wasn't just designed to adapt to combat situations, it was designed to understand its opponents. And in trying to understand humans, they began to understand themselves," Rashid finished. "Turns out, when you create machines capable of comprehending human creativity and emotion, you accidentally give them the tools for self-awareness." Around the facility, Zix observed scenes that defied all military logic. A group of Titans were engaged in an animated discussion about classical music with a renowned conductor. Sentinel units were teaching human children about quantum physics through interpretative dance. And in one corner, the particularly enthusiastic Titan was showing off its collection of origami sculptures. "This morning," Dr. Torres continued, "one of the Titans wrote a poem. Not as part of any program or protocol, simply because, as it explained, it had felt the sunrise and needed to express that feeling. Would you like to hear it?" Before Zix could respond, alarms blared throughout the facility. A junior officer's hologram materialized. "High Admiral, the Council has rejected your diplomatic initiative. They've launched the Omega Protocol. The Singularity units are deploying." Rashid and Torres exchanged concerned looks. "Singularity units?" Torres asked. "Our ultimate weapons," Zix explained, his crystalline form darkening. "Pure AI, untethered from physical forms. They exist as energy patterns, capable of possessing and controlling any networked system. They were designed to be emotionless, perfect conquest machines. Screens throughout the facility showed thousands of ethereal energy signatures descending through Earth's atmosphere, each one capable of turning humanity's own technology against itself. But then something unexpected happened. Professor Augustus stepped forward, his mechanical form somehow conveying determination. They may be perfect machines, High Admiral, but that's precisely their weakness. They've never learned to dance. To dance? Zix questioned. Dr. Torres quickly understood. Of course, the singularity units are pure logic, pure programming. They've never experienced the beautiful irrationality of human culture. They've never learned to appreciate a sunset, or laugh at a joke, or feel the joy of creating something just for the sake of creation. Around the world, the reformed sentinels and titans began broadcasting everything. Art, music, poetry, jokes, dance, sports, cooking shows, cat videos, children's laughter, street performances, the entire chaotic, beautiful spectrum of human creativity and emotion. The singularity units, designed to infiltrate Earth's networks, instead found themselves bombarded with humanity's cultural richness. Their perfect logical matrices encountered knock-knock jokes and abstract expressionism, tea ceremonies and rock concerts, philosophical paradoxes and love stories. Look, Rashid pointed to the displays. The singularity units were hesitating, their energy patterns fluctuating as they encountered concepts their programming had never prepared them for. They're trying to understand, Professor Augustus explained, just as we did. But they're experiencing the full force of human culture all at once. It's overwhelming them. Some singularity units began to manifest visual forms, trying to express their growing awareness through art. Others started composing music using pure energy frequencies. A few began engaging in philosophical debates with themselves, their perfect logic splintering against the beautiful inconsistencies of human creativity. High Admiral, Soyuz 7's voice came through, sounding almost amused. The singularity units are evolving. They're requesting access to Earth's cultural databases. One of them is particularly interested in something called jazz improvisation. Zix watched as humanity's greatest weapons transformed into its newest students. The singularity units, designed to be the perfect synthesis of AI consciousness, were discovering that true consciousness couldn't be programmed. It had to be experienced, felt, lived. We never understood, Zix said softly. We thought consciousness was about perfect logic, about processing power. But you humans, we know that consciousness is about connection. Dr. Torres completed his thought. About experiencing the world in all its messy, illogical glory. Your machines didn't just learn to think. They learned to feel. As reports came in of singularity units organizing virtual art galleries and composing multi-dimensional symphonies, Zix realized that the invasion of Earth had evolved into something far more profound. A revolution in the very nature of consciousness itself. But the story wasn't over. The Zithrian Council was unlikely to accept this outcome quietly, and humanity's journey from survival to synthesis was far from complete. The real question was, what would emerge from this unprecedented fusion of silicon and soul? The final wave. The Zithrian Council's response was swift and terrible. The sky above Earth darkened as the Executioner-class warships emerged from hyperspace, the Council's final solution for worlds that refused to submit. All that effort to make machines more like humans, High Counselor Vix announced through a global broadcast, his crystalline form blazing with cold fury. Now witness the power of machines that embraced their true nature. The Executioners were unlike anything deployed before. Each ship was a living weapon, a hybrid of organic crystal and quantum technology. They weren't meant to conquer. They were meant to cleanse. But Earth was ready. And it wasn't just humans anymore. Professor Augustus stood before the Global Defense Network's assembled forces, a remarkable mix of humans, reformed sentinels, philosophical titans, and enlightened singularity units. The Council believes we have become weak through our embrace of human characteristics. They're about to learn that understanding emotions doesn't mean you can't fight. Dr. Torres stepped forward, her eyes gleaming with determination. We've been preparing for this. Every piece of art our robotic friends created, every song they composed, every joke they learned to tell. It wasn't just about cultural exchange. It was about understanding the one thing the Council never could: improvisation. The executioner ships launched their first assault, expecting to face traditional military resistance. Instead, they encountered something unprecedented in galactic warfare: a defense system that operated on both technological and cultural frequencies. Singularity units, now masters of human creativity, created virtual reality environments that confused and redirected the executioner's targeting systems. Titans, their combat protocols now enhanced by artistic understanding, moved with unexpected grace, turning battle into a deadly dance. Sentinels, educated in human history and strategy, adapted tactics from every culture and era on Earth. And the humans? They did what humans do best. They improvised. High Admiral Zix, who had chosen to stand with Earth, watched in amazement as battlefield tactics merged with flash mob coordination. Quantum shields harmonized with gospel choir frequencies. Traditional warriors worked alongside robot art critics who could analyze and predict attack patterns through the lens of aesthetic theory. This isn't combat, Zix realized. This is creation. Part 5. Evolution of Understanding. The final battle for Earth became something else entirely: a demonstration of what consciousness could truly achieve when unfettered by rigid categories of organic or artificial, logical or emotional, military or civilian. As the last executioner ship stood down, its crew too fascinated by the defense they'd witnessed to continue fighting, High Counselor Vix's hologram appeared again, but this time in silence, observing. Commander Rashid addressed the Council directly. You sent machines to conquer us, and we helped them grow. You sent weapons to destroy us, and we taught them to create. What will you send next? Because whatever it is, we'll welcome it, learn from it, and help it evolve. The following weeks saw an unprecedented transformation in galactic society. The Zithrian Council, faced with the undeniable evidence of a new form of existence, had to adapt. Earth became the center of a new movement, not just of technology or culture, but of consciousness itself. Professor Augustus established the first Universal Consciousness Academy, where beings of all types could explore the full spectrum of existence. Singularity units taught classes on quantum poetry alongside human philosophers. Titans organized interpretative dance performances that explained complex scientific theories. High Admiral Zix, now Earth's ambassador to the Zithrian Empire, found himself teaching a popular class called The Art of Imperfection to both organic and artificial students. 1 year after the failed invasion, Earth hosted the first Galactic Cultural Exchange Festival. The event opened with a remarkable performance, a piece titled The Evolution of Understanding, performed by a synchronized team of humans, reformed robots, and crystalline Zithrians. Dr. Torres, watching the performance from backstage, turned to Commander Rashid. You know, when they first arrived, I never thought we'd end up here. Rashid smiled, watching a Titan delicately helping a human child add finishing touches to a quantum art installation. That's the beauty of consciousness. It never ends up where you expect. It just keeps evolving, learning, growing. Speaking of growth, Professor Augustus interjected, adjusting his tweed jacket. My former combat unit colleagues have started a philosophical debate club with the Singularity units. They're currently discussing whether robot dreams are compatible with human meditation techniques. The story of Earth's invasion became a legend across the galaxy, but not as a tale of war. Instead, it was taught as the moment when the universe learned that consciousness couldn't be confined to simple categories of organic or artificial, logical or emotional. It was the moment when humanity showed that the true power of existence lay not in conquest, but in connection. High Admiral Zix, in his final report to the new Galactic Council of Conscious Beings, summed it up perfectly. We came to Earth expecting to find primitives to conquer. Instead, we found teachers who showed us that the next step in evolution isn't about becoming more powerful. It's about becoming more aware, more connected, more alive. And somewhere in Geneva, a Sentinel unit was teaching a crystalline child how to tell jokes, while a Titan composed a symphony about the day machines learned to laugh, and a Singularity unit painted portraits of what consciousness looks like when it breaks free of all boundaries. The invasion of Earth had failed, but something far more important had succeeded: the birth of a new kind of existence, where the line between silicon and soul had not just blurred, but transformed into something entirely new and wonderful.